Vince McMahon lives in a world of astonishing wealth. Mansions like palaces, penthouses in the sky, and a fortune built on wrestling's global empire. His countryside estates stretch for acres. His glass towers overlook entire cities. A private jet, luxury yachts, and a fleet of supercars complete a lifestyle that feels better suited for a billionaire tycoon than a wrestling promoter. But Vince McMahon's vast personal fortune isn't just about success, it's about luxury on a scale that few can imagine. In this video, we step inside a hidden world of opulence, power and prestige to explore a life that is as extravagant, outrageous and controversial as WrestleMania itself. Vince McMahon's empire began in 1982 when he bought his father's regional wrestling organisation and took a gamble that the sport could be marketed nationally. It was, to put it mildly, a massive risk, but one that paid off and would eventually turn WWE into a global juggernaut. Under Vince McMahon's control, the company locked in billion-dollar TV contracts, launched a 10-year deal with the Saudi government, and created the WWE Network, one of the first global streaming platforms for a sports brand. As chairman of the board, Vince McMahon's annual salary often topped $5 million, with his base salary shifting from $1.2 to $2 million a year. Beyond financial remuneration, McMahon's greatest achievement was transforming WWE from a regional promotion to a global media powerhouse. Under his leadership, the company transformed its pay-per-view model into a billion-dollar industry. In 1985, he launched WrestleMania as an international event brand, securing lucrative TV deals that made WWE a fixture in pop culture. And it was that long-term vision that positioned the company for its landmark merger with UFC. The deal, which concluded in 2023, created TKO Group Holdings, a new publicly traded sports and entertainment giant worth $20 billion. Before the deal, McMahon's grip on WWE was unrivaled. His 29 million Class B shares gave him roughly 80% of control of the voting power. In late 2023, and again in March 2024, McMahon sold major blocks of stock in the company, including one extraordinary sale of 5.3 million shares for a whopping $412 million. Even without selling, dividends alone brought McMahon windfalls of a staggering scale. In September 2023, a single payout netted him more than $111 million. Not bad for a kid who began life in a trailer park.
I grew up in an 8-foot wide trailer, and that's where I come from, and it's a tremendous advantage, quite frankly, because I am Americana. I'm middle class, actually, lower middle class.
Growing up in modest surroundings in North Carolina, his biological father was absent from his life, leaving McMahon to be raised by his mother and successive stepfathers.
I never gave up, my philosophy is, that I learned probably then, is that in a fight of any kind, physical or otherwise, if I'm not dead, I win. I won.
After an unhappy childhood, McMahon eventually reconnected with his real father at the age of 12, an event that would quietly lay the foundations for his future career in the wrestling industry. He went on to attend Fishburne Military School in Virginia before graduating from East Carolina University with a degree in business in 1968. And just a few years later, in 1972, began working alongside his father in the Worldwide Wrestling Federation.
I just gravitated to him right away. And this larger-than-life business he was in, my dad did not want me in this business. He wanted me to be a lawyer of all things. I detest lawyers.
Cutting his teeth at the announcing table, McMahon took the opportunity to soak up everything he could about the wrestling business. In 1982, after years of learning the ropes, Vince McMahon took a calculated risk by buying the company from his father and long-term stakeholders. By the time of his father's passing 2 years later, McMahon had already begun reshaping the wrestling business model, a bold but strategic move that would set the scene for WWE's dominance in years to come. Together with his wife Linda, McMahon declared war on his rivals, raiding top talent and dismantling the territorial system piece by piece. He moved Hulk Hogan into the spotlight and launched WrestleMania in 1985, a moment in time that would forever change the face of sports entertainment.
I was a brilliant younger man, and I'm a brilliant older man now, so not too much has changed through the years. And my dad, I don't think, would have ever sold me in the business if he knew really what I wanted to do with it. He had no idea that I would go off and compete with a lot of his friends.
McMahon wasn't just a boss behind the curtain, he became a character himself, clashing with his top stars and even stepping in the ring to win the WWF and ECW world titles. Beyond Vince himself, the McMahon name has become part of WWE legacy. His wife Linda moving into politics and serving in Donald Trump's cabinet. His children, Shane and Stephanie, have previously taken executive roles and played on-screen characters. In 2024, Netflix cemented Vince McMahon's complicated story with the limited series Mr. McMahon, a portrait of a figure who's impossible to ignore and as controversial as they come.
I have been married to Vince for over 32 years. We've had a wonderful lifetime together. Always bumps in the road with any relationship. We had ours. There'll probably be more to come. But he's a man of integrity, a man of principle, someone I admire and respect very much, and I would say that even if he weren't sitting next to me.
For decades, Vince McMahon has called Greenwich, Connecticut home. What follows is a mix of rare archive footage of the McMahon residence, combined with publicly available material of neighbouring properties within the gated community, included here to give a sense of scale and of lifestyle. The McMahon property sits in Conyers Farm, a gated enclave built around the Converse Lake. The 10-acre estate is believed to be worth in excess of $40 million. Spread across a stretch of expansive waterfront property, the location is both vast and secluded. The mansion itself features 7 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms, and plenty of space for entertaining. Towering windows frame sweeping views as natural light blends seamlessly with refined interiors. Stone and glass dominate the exterior, giving it the weight of a fortress but the sleekness of a contemporary design. Step outside and the opulence continues. A vanishing edge pool set on a heated terrace, and next to that a state-of-the-art gym and spa, complete with a swimming machine for resistance training. Skillfully demonstrated here in this archive footage. Could it be McMahon himself? Beyond the lily-white sun lounges, the grounds are landscaped with manicured precision. A peaceful retreat that feels worlds away from the hustle and bustle of downtown Stamford, but perhaps surprisingly is only a half-an-hour drive from the WWE HQ. Conyers Farm itself adds another layer of prestige, with strict 60-acre zoning laws and a reputation for attracting financiers and celebrities. Neighbours include Wall Street titans and Hollywood stars, placing McMahon in rarefied company. For fans and critics alike, the irony has never been lost. The man who built his empire on the backs of blue-collar wrestling heroes now resides among aristocracy. Those of McMahon's workforce lucky enough to receive an invitation remember the mansion vividly. In the run-up to WrestleMania 3, Andre the Giant lived at the estate while recovering from health issues. Despite McMahon's deep ties to the wrestling business, he draws a hard line between work and personal life. As former WWE writer Vince Russo recalls from his visits in the 90s, there wasn't a single championship belt, poster, or piece of memorabilia in sight. Chris Jericho too has spoken about visiting the house, remarking that he was shocked to see a massive self-portrait of McMahon on display in his living room. And the ex-WWE chairman has plenty more homes to hang his art. McMahon has also owned a 3,500 square foot pad in downtown Stamford. The luxury penthouse, which is set on 2 floors, has 3 bathrooms, 4 bedrooms and a terrace with sweeping views across Nassau Sound and Manhattan. The building, known as Park Stamford, is unmistakable in the Connecticut skyline, with 33 stories of curved glass. Residents of the block can enjoy a full suite of top-tier amenities, including a private gym, exclusive swimming pool and spa, residence lounge, conference room, and 24-hour concierge. And for those commuting into New York City, the tower plays host to an exclusive shuttle service. In 2022, McMahon and his wife listed the apartment for $4.1 million, with details published online offering a rare glimpse into the hallowed halls of the McMahon ivory tower. According to public records, McMahon also owns a $12 million pad in Upper Manhattan, underscoring his deep ties to the region and his long-standing preference for high-end metropolitan real estate. Though details remain more closely guarded, reports describe the property as part of the Midtown Tower. And in Manhattan, where penthouses mean marble finishes, walls of glass and sweeping skyline views, the kind of home that places its owner at the very top of city life. But Vince McMahon's wealth isn't only measured in mansions and media deals. It also shows in the cars that he chooses to drive. A Bentley Continental GT Speed, one of the most undisputed luxury vehicles of its era. Elegant on the outside, handcrafted on the inside, and capable of blistering speed. At a base price of $305,000 on the road, the vehicle packs a whopping 771 horsepower. And it was that very power on the morning of July the 24th, 2025, that made headlines for all the wrong reasons. According to reports, on the same day that Hulk Hogan passed away, McMahon is alleged to have rear-ended a BMW on Connecticut's Merritt Parkway. While no one was injured in the collision, it earned McMahon citations for reckless driving and following too closely. Sitting aside McMahon's Bentley is a Mercedes SL600, a flagship convertible long regarded as a symbol of success on the road. It's a car that speaks to both status and performance. But the jewel of Vince McMahon's garage is surely his Lamborghini Aventador SVJ Roadster. Worth around $600,000 on the open road, its 6.5-litre V12 engine puts out 770 horsepower and can hit 60 miles per hour in just 2.5 seconds. While it may be enough for some, Vince McMahon's garage doesn't stop at high-end European motors. He also keeps a GMC Yukon and a Jeep Grand Cherokee, practical for everyday use, but still carrying that weight of authority. The newest models combined start at roughly $106,000. But surprisingly, these aren't even the most modest cars in McMahon's garage. That accolade goes to his Volvo XC70. The rugged Swedish estate car shows that not every vehicle he owns needs to scream for attention. And speaking of screaming for attention, the most unique vehicle in McMahon's collection isn't on 4 wheels. For years, Vince McMahon has owned a Boss Hog motorcycle, loud, larger than life, and impossible to ignore. In many ways, a lot like the Mr. McMahon character. And as you might imagine, for a man who's famous for blurring the lines between his real life and on-screen persona, there have been occasions where his fleet of vehicles have made appearances on WWE programming. Sometimes in matches, other times as props of power, and a few have even been destroyed in the most extraordinary fashion. Vince McMahon's collection of vehicles, whether shown on screen or in his garage, is a reflection of not just wealth, but taste and identity. From the opulence of the Bentley to the audacity of the Boss Hog. For Vince McMahon, even the open road tells a story of power and extravagance. But when it comes to his most luxurious form of transport, you won't be seeing that in traffic. The 2007 Bombardier Global 5000 comes with a hefty price tag of $7 million. The state-of-the-art plane purchased with WWE loans replaced an earlier model that McMahon had flown for years. Step inside and the focus is pure luxury. A spacious cabin with plush seating, workspaces and plenty of room to relax. Designed for long-haul travel, it turns global commuting into something effortless. From PLEs in Europe to boardroom meetings in LA, the plane ensured that McMahon and WWE's top brass arrived in style. Over the years, WWE employees have spoken about what it was like to fly with McMahon, with perhaps the strangest anecdote coming from Bruce Pritchard, as he recounts McMahon's love for playing loud gangster rap music at the front of the plane. These days, the corporate jet, keyword corporate, is more regularly used by Triple H, although it remains one of the key symbols of McMahon's fortune and legacy. But Vince McMahon's taste for luxury doesn't stop at land or air. It extends onto water. Alongside his multi-million-dollar Florida residence sits one of his most distinctive possessions, and in true McMahon fashion, it carries a name as bold as its owner. The 47-square-foot luxury yacht is designed for comfort as well as power. Expansive decks for entertaining, cabins lined with polished wood and leather finishes, and advanced technology for long-haul cruising, ensuring that the yacht's not just a showpiece, but a fully capable vessel built for expeditions along the Florida coast or even into the Caribbean. And although McMahon is rarely photographed on the water, the image conjured by his yacht speaks for itself. This is more than a mode of transport to get from A to B. It's a floating statement of wealth and personality. And what's the price for cruising in style? Experts put the luxury liner at $1.2 to $2 million. From his sprawling portfolio to collection of supercars, jets and yachts, Vince McMahon's lifestyle is the ultimate display of power and opulence. Every vehicle, every property and every possession reflect the same qualities that have defined his career: scale, ambition and a refusal to blend in. It's a world built on spectacle, where wealth isn't just accumulated, it's showcased. A curated empire of stone, glass, steel and speed that's designed to impress, to intimidate and to remind everyone of the man who built WWE. Thanks for watching, and if you'd like to fall down more batshit crazy wrestling rabbit holes, give us a subscribe.